And you hear it all the time.
You hear it all the time.
Just, oh, well, I couldn't do that. I need my sleep. But without 8 hours, I can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm useless.
Right. Yes, you are. I think that people need to have a very good idea. All of you guys need to have a very good idea of what you're about. You need to have, back to my other point, you need to have an idea of what you're about. Are you about being a risk taker? Now, as men in particular, if you asked 125-year-olds, are they risk takers? The answer is going to be yes, right? Because they're not going to want to say no because it sounds all macho and it gets your testosterone going. And of course, I'm a risk taker, right? And the reality is, it can be very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask 125-year-olds, are you a hard worker? They're all going to say, of course, right?
Yep.
The reality is, hard work on the level that I'm talking about, nope, doesn't exist. When you're an entrepreneur, when you own your own business, when you're trying to become something more, this is very straightforward, very simple. I'll give you a piece of advice. You can't ever be tired. So there is no tired. Tired is not in anybody's vocabulary. So if you profess to want to become something more than you are, let me give you the one piece of advice to get you started. You're never tired again. Well, Jerry, that's unreasonable. It's a human being. I got to sleep. Okay. You're right. Keep telling yourself that.
Your competitors aren't.
Okay. Meanwhile, you got guys like me out here that don't complain about anything. They don't think about anything. I control what happens in my body. My body doesn't control me. And that is a significant mindset difference between so many entrepreneurs that are successful and ones that aren't, or, and in particular, younger guys that are trying to get started. See, you, proverbially, not you specifically, Billy, you guys don't have any idea how much work it takes. You don't have any idea how hard it is to do it. You have no sense of what it's going to take going forward for you to achieve what you profess to want to achieve. And that's because you're watching the wrong stuff, you're listening to the wrong people, and then you haven't done a good introspective reflection on yourself and who you are and what you're about. What you are, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
That is that you're the person that says, oh, I work hard, and then you go do your 8-hour day job 5 days a week, and that's it. And you talk about when you get home, you're tired and you got to lay down and you got to have a nap and you got to just let me have half an hour to, we give my nephew bedtime. It's not necessarily about him, but he gets home, he's got to have a little half an hour sit down time. Right. Motherfuckers, I never would, I don't even know what that means. I cussed. I wasn't supposed to cuss. Damn you, Jake, you made me cuss. But again, I'm giving him a bad time. I never am tired. Right now, am I physically tired? Oh, hell yeah. I get tired of this. I was tired after working 48 straight hours over the weekend. And I don't know how many hours I worked over a 5-day period. 100? Probably. Something like that. I was dead tired. Man, when that was, and I had the flu.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't even know.
And no, you don't know. Because I don't know. Again, Billy, thank you for making my point for me. Yep. Completely unrehearsed, right? You didn't know. That came out completely spontaneously.
Yep.
The whole time you and I are communicating, I'm doing all of that. I'm sick as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would set my alarm on one day. I was so sick with fever. I would pick just the right time to go, and I would run in and I would lay down. I wouldn't go to sleep because it was too hard on me, right? Because my body's just screaming. But as the room is kind of rocking back and forth because this fever's just crushing me. I got 14 layers on. I got to work though. So, but I'd say, okay, I'm going to go give myself a break in a pitch black room and just kind of, chill for a second. And so I did that. So in the middle of all that, I was sick as hell. To make my point, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And the fact that you didn't know I was sick as hell makes my point even more so for me. You just work. And if you want to find success, you have to work. And you can't. Those limitations that we place on ourselves, particularly you younger guys, you guys should never be tired, ever. You're talking about a guy with multiple heart issues, 13 back surgeries, right? Half of the things on me don't work. It's been a rough life for 52 years. And the youngster's not going to keep up with me, right? Because for me, it's become second nature, right?
Mhm.
I was here, I stayed with some friends of mine last month, and they've known me since I was a kid. So we kind of split I didn't see them for 35 years, and then we kind of came back together. They live right down the street. They were
That's cool.
my teachers when I was in the 7th grade. They're good people.
Nice.
So they had no concept of how much. They knew I worked a lot, right? They're impressed with all the success and all that. And they knew I worked a lot. They had no concept what that means until I stayed there. And I was gone before they got up for 6 days in a row. I was gone before they got up. And I averaged about 12:30, 1 o'clock home, and about 2:30 to bed. And then I was their school teachers, and they would leave at 6:30, 6:45. I think maybe I saw him twice in the morning, walking out of the door at 6:25, right? Because I'd be up at 6:10, leaving for the gym. So when I talk about working like this in long days, why I don't have to do it every single day now, it's reflective, or I think the perspective, I should say, for everybody is to understand that I'm doing 19-hour days without giving it 2 seconds of thought other than to tell you the story. That's just a normal life to me. I had to train myself to do that. I've always been a hard worker. I'm a survivor. But you got to train your brain to not look at the clock. You got to train your brain to ignore that pain. And I'm not talking about like a Navy SEAL, right? But in a lot of ways, it is the Navy SEAL without all the physicality. I don't know how many Navy SEALs can stay awake for 7, 8 days. I did. Right now, it sucked. I hated it. It was brutal. But I can't go climb mountains like they can. But the mental part of it, that aspect to it, is largely the same. It is your mind over your matter, your body screaming at you to go to sleep, and you ignore it, and you just don't do it. And pretty soon, your body doesn't scream at you anymore because you stop listening. So when you get to my point, or you get to my level, I'll go. I could sit here all night and start and go back to work tomorrow and not think twice about it after being here for 24 hours. And I wouldn't even notice it other than I needed a shower or something, right? See, that's what I'm talking about. My body might be yelling at me, but I'm not listening because I've mastered it.
And that's the key there. Not being tired doesn't mean that you don't physically get tired, because that's something that changes over time as you adapt how you live your life. What it means is that you don't let being tired stop you from doing anything. It's not, oh, it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm exhausted, I can't think straight, I can't do any more work, I better just go sit down and watch some TV and go to bed.
Yes.
Instead, it's pushing through till 2 o'clock in the morning, working and being productive that entire time.
And that's why, and it will even, it will flower over into your personal life. You stayed with us with that week, right? And you just stay up till you feel like going to bed. And then if you got enough hours, let's sleep in late, right? If you don't have enough hours, I'll see you at 7 o'clock. That is the nature of it. I never think about, oh no, I'm only getting 5 hours. I never think about, oh no, I'm only getting 3 hours. I don't ever think about it. Now, doesn't mean when that alarm goes off and you're in just starting hour 3 that you want to get up. See, that's a big misnomer too, I think, because you hear about these assholes that say, oh yeah, I spring out of bed in the morning.
Get up and do my yoga and drink my tea.
Yeah, correct. No, you don't.
Every morning.
No, you don't. Not if you're working 20 hours a day. No, you don't. That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a guarantee it's a lie. It's a fib maybe. Lie might be a little bit too heavy. I don't think they're telling the truth.
Yeah.
I think they're sleeping more than they say they are, right? And certainly they probably don't have the stress that comes with doing this. But be that as it may, regardless, it's still you controlling yourself. And it's still, even when you wake up in the morning, understand that regardless of what that online guru told you, it's okay to be tired. You're going to fool yourself into going, well, I'm too tired, I can't do it, because Bob, he doesn't get tired. Jerry doesn't get tired. He somehow genetically is better than I am. Somehow mentally he's got a much stronger brain than I do. I'm out.
And you hear it all the time.
You hear it all the time.
Just, oh, well, I couldn't do that. I need my sleep. With without 8 hours, I can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm useless.
Right. Yes, you are.